back to McKinney ISD Sports Talk as we take a look at more of this 2014 football season as it unfolds. And our focus now goes to the McKinney Boyd Broncos, and pleased to be joined by head coach Don Drake. And Don, I was just talking about it. When I look at that Broncos schedule every year, there's no easy way out of it. You play some of the best football teams in the state of Texas. Plano West came to town, and it was just a tough night.
It was a tough night. You know, obviously we didn't play as well defensively as we had hoped. We've had some really good success over the last couple of years containing that West offense, and Friday night wasn't an example of that. So, you know, the kids are disappointed and frustrated, but we'll bounce back. We'll be ready to go this week against Plano East. Offensively,
we talked about it a lot when you and I have had conversations. Grant Restmeyer moves into that starting role at quarterback. That's a lot of pressure. You're seeing some great defenses. Has he exceeded your expectations so far this season?
Well, he's doing very, very well, you know, and any time you come in with a first-year starter at that position, you know, you don't really know what to expect. We know there's a learning curve that's going to exist there, and you're going to have some struggles, et cetera, but, I mean, Grant has really done an outstanding job. You know, he's a very intelligent player, very smart football player. He throws a great ball, has had some great nights for us in the first 5 weeks throwing the football, and so been very, very pleased with the job that he's done.
When you look on both sides of the football and you always take that positive first step, what do you like that you're doing both offensively and defensively right now? And then the second part of that question is, where do you think you have to get better?
Well, I think our kids' effort has been great. You know, there's never a time where I turn on that film and I don't think that we're going out and playing with great effort, playing physical football, et cetera. I mean, those are paramount to us. Those are basic building blocks and foundations that we feel like we have to have, and our kids are bringing that every week. You know, I think the areas that we've got to improve is understanding that every play is so important. You know, when you play the caliber of competition that we compete against, if I make one mistake, it could be very detrimental to the result. And so having our kids understand that I've got to play every down. Every down really matters. Every down is going to impact the outcome of the football game. And I think once we get to that, you know, some great things are going to happen. The nights that we do that, the outcome's usually in our favor. The nights that we don't, then we struggle. And so just understand the importance of every game. I got to show up focused. I've got to focus on every down, and this down is the most important down of the football game.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights from Friday night at Ron Poe Stadium. Obviously, like you said, every game's a big game. Here you are on defense.
Yeah, and we made some good defensive plays. I know when you look at the score and you think, wow, they must not have played much. We actually did, you know, have some good defensive effort and some good defensive plays. You're seeing some examples of that right there. Of, again, a lot of guys filling gaps, getting to the ball carrier, and wrapping up and tackling.
One of your things that you pride yourself on doing is playing physical football, and it's not at a loss here. Your guys are jumping around.
Well, again, you know, I commented about the effort earlier, and I think you're seeing guys that are running to the football, that are making plays. So, I mean, the effort's there. You know, our kids believe in what we do. We ask them to go play with great effort, and they show up and they do that each and every night.
Here's Grant on offense, throwing a nice ball.
Yeah, completed a nice ball out to Cassidy Woods. This would be in our second possession of the game there in the first quarter. It was a nice completion, change of field position. Then we had the pop play right there to Jacob Cantrell for the touchdown to take the game to 14-7 at that point.
Here you are on defense, trying to keep them out of the end zone. And again, even with the second effort of the ball carrier, getting to it. And here's Dedrick doing what he does best, just second and third efforts.
Yeah, you know, and our line has done a great job all year. Those guys are fitting up well in the run game, and there's a great throw out there to Brandon Boland, who's, you know, a talented player, has makes some people miss. You'll see a great clip of him in a minute with a little balance drill right there, getting his hand on the ground and accelerating down the sideline and running to score to make that game 21-14 at that point.
Talk about your offensive line, because you had some key members go down injured. How have the other guys filled in, and you think that'll help you down the road if you have to call on those second-tier guys?
Well, I think depth's always important, and we have missed a couple of starters the last few weeks, and we've had some guys that have filled in and done a great job. You know, we got Matt Morris back at center Friday night, and I thought Matt played well, so it was good to see him coming back in off of an injury and having a good performance. So, you know, we're starting to get some of those faces back into the lineup, and that's what we need, headed into the second half of the season.
Great play there by Grant, kind of feeling the pressure and stepping up and making a nice throw there.
Yeah, it's another example of him stepping up in the pocket and throwing one down the sideline. You don't really get to see it there, but Dedrick one-handed that ball. It was a pretty amazing catch.
This is always a tough play to defense, the option, and your guys are all around the football there.
Again, the key there is you get a lot of guys running to the football, and playing with effort, as we talked about before, and those are examples of them doing that.
Coach, on a tough loss like that, and I know it's and there you see the effort getting the safety. When you got to give that message to the kids, and everybody's kind of a little deflated, but you got to go on. You always preach about living in the moment. What'd you say to the kids after the game?
Well, we got to put it behind us. We got to move forward. We got to get focused on what really matters now, which is Plano East on Friday night. It's a great throw there by Grant to Stephen Driscoll for the touchdown. That's what matters the most. I mean, we can't do anything about Friday's result, as unfortunate as that was and difficult to swallow. We've got to move forward, and we got to continue to focus on getting better every day in practice and going out and perform again on Friday night and hopefully come away with a victory. Are
you pleased at the way, too, as you've seen over the last couple of weeks, that your wide receivers have went up and went after that football?
Yeah, and here's another example. It's a touchdown catch from pass from Seth Washington out to Cassidy Woods there to close it out for us on the scoring. But our receiving core, I think, has done a really good job. We've probably thrown the ball down the field more this year than we have in previous years, and been able to create some big plays in the passing game. I think anytime you throw for 300 yards like we did the other night, Grant threw for a little over 300, you've got to be creating some big pass plays down the field. And so, that's a part of our game that I'm excited about, that we're able to produce in that way. And you combine that with a run game, and I feel like we've got some great opportunities to do some really good things.
Coach, thanks for your time. As always, best of luck down the stretch.
You. Appreciate it.
Coach Don Drake of the McKinney Boyd Broncos will be back next week to take a look at Week 5 on McKinney ISD Sports Talk.